All right, we're going to prepare the statement of cash flows to help you see where we're getting this information right here is from the accounting equation chart here. We have Dig the Dogs chart. We're taking the cash column from the assets, and I've summarized them below here or right here so that we can prepare the statement of cash flows, which reports the cash that was received and what was paid during the period. So there's the three activities, just to refresh your memory. O stands for operating, and that's the activities such as cash collected from customers and all the bills that you pay related to operating your business. Then we have investing activities, and that's the cash related to long-term assets, the buying and selling of long-term assets. And lastly, F equals financing activities, and financing activities are any activities with your owners and any borrowings. So O, I, and F are the three sections. O, if you would remember that. Okay, the order or the way you want to approach preparing a statement of cash flows is that instead of working your way down the statement of cash flows, what I highly recommend is you start with the first item that you see in your chart. And the first one is that we have $5,000 of cash coming in. So you would report that under financing activities, and I have this down below because there's going to be the three sections and you list them in order of operating, then your investing, and lastly your financing. So we're going to put the cash that was received from the issuance of stock, and that's our first item. The next is we're going to go to the second line item, and this is $1,000. That's a positive, so cash is coming in, and it's financing, so it'll go under here, and that amount is the 1,000, and proceeds from the loan is sometimes the titles here vary. It might say the issuance of a loan or just plain old borrowings. The next line item we see here, this is the third one we're going to put on our statement of cash flows, and it's a cash going out for $1,800. That was buying the cart, and that's an investing activity because you're purchasing a long-term asset. So we'd have purchase of equipment and here we got to be careful to use the proper signage because cash can come in or go out. So this is cash going out. The next items are all in operating activities, and I'm going to go slotting them in order. Here we have minus 500. That was the cash paid for inventory. You'll notice I left a space here because usually the first line here is going to be the cash you collect from your customers, which is the very next item. Then we have the 100 for the wages, and then you have the cash paid for interest, and that's all of your operating. So I can tally that up, and we basically we being the company have generated $90 from operating our business. Now the other thing we have here is $40 of dividends, and that's a financing activity, and that concludes all the activity during the period. But we now have to summarize this all, and the way you go about it is you're going to get your totals, operating, investing, and financing, so that you get your net change in cash. So in other words, you're going to take to get your net change in cash, you're going to take your operating of 90 plus your negative 1,800 from investing plus your 5,960 from financing. So you're going to add your operating, investing, and financing subtotals, and you can see that the cash increased by 4,250. Now this happens to be the business's first year or month of business, but most companies, for instance, for next period, this beginning of June, this balance will be whatever we end up for the ending cash balance for this month. In other words, the ending cash balance becomes the next period's beginning balance. All right, so to get your ending cash balance, you take that change in your cash plus your beginning cash to get to the 4,250 ending balance. So like I said, next month when we prepare this statement, this balance will go right here, and then it'll either go up or down depending on what happens with operating, investing, and financing activities. And that concludes how you prepare the statement of cash flows. Again, be careful when preparing as to work your way down the column in your accounting equation chart. Don't try to fill it in working your way down this way, because you'll avoid mistakes that way.